I had to work,
Okay.
everything.
So you're going through that. You mentioned something early I've always I've always had a perspective because I'm similar to you in co-parenting and all of that. You mentioned trying to date or date. What what did that look like in this period where it's like, all right, I'm coming through this divorce. I'm trying to figure myself out. Specifically when it comes to your daughter, and then how do you date? What is it? What does it look like in this point in time for you? What did it look like?
Okay, so I'm gonna speak for the women that have been through this because I've only
Okay.
been a woman all my life. But I think it's really different because I am a huge proponent on not just placing anybody in front of my daughter. So I became very what do you want to call it, like a burglar in my own house because I was
Did
creeping
a
around.
burglar.
Like I
Stealthy.
tried to, like I would be the one like, oh gosh, she woke up, like if I'm downstairs, I'm like, get down, I'm doing all this like
Like, get
like
out.
yeah, I mean it was crazy. I just, yeah, I'm laughing now because that was like, I laughed at myself. And being that you go through that, you're just like, I'm free. I mean, you have this sense of freedom and you're like, I can date whoever,
Right,
young,
right,
old, whatever. And they're
right,
like, well,
right.
can I come back to your house? You can't come back to my house.
Mm-mm.
You can't.
No.
I mean, you say it so quick, like, we sit in front of my house, like we could, no,
Like,
no.
on the
So
porch, man.
so really, if to go back to that, I dated literally when she was away. Like, I mean, if
So
I
you
wanted
you
to,
you dated every other week.
well, I dated, but they could not come to my house. That was
Gotcha.
like a
I
no-no.
got you. Okay, okay, okay,
Yeah, and
okay.
that was like, I'm talking like, yeah, you probably. And now, did she ever meet anyone? Yes, but it was like she don't even remember them. I mean,
I
she
got you.
couldn't.
Now let's flip that dating. All right. So I'm gonna make an assumption that your ex, he has dated or is dating now at some point. How'd you handle that?
Okay, so I have a funny story. So I think she was turning 6. Either, no,
Uh-huh.
it's probably a little bit early, not 5 maybe. And we
Uh-huh.
both had somebody, right? Now at this
Right.
point, she's met him and he has someone and we did. So this point we're amicable, we're
Right.
joking still. He's like,
Right.
I'm going to throw the birthday party at his complex. He had a party room. So
Right.
this will be the first time that we both will come across each other's like
So all four of
significant.
y'all about to meet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I'm still like, so we both, it's so funny. I remember like it was yesterday. So we both are like, oh, that's your dude. Oh, that's your girl. Oh, okay.
Y'all
You
looking
know?
at
Yeah. But like his girl did something for her and my dude did something for her. We both like, you could tell we both really not invested in them, but it's like we got to get the water, you got to get the
yeah,
water moving.
you gotta at some point you gotta like make
Yeah.
strides and
And
yeah.
we taking shots at each other's, but we're joking. But
Hey,
that to
y'all
me
joking
was
about
the,
each other's boyfriend
yeah,
girl. Oh, yeah.
yeah, we're joking. We like walking in to get the ice cream, like, yeah, your dude can't dress like, oh, look at her wig wrong. But that let me know that we were on the right path
Gotcha.
because I wanted to know what I was gonna feel when I saw him with someone else. And I
Mm,
was like, oh, I'm good. I'm good. Like, I'm not mad. I'm not. And that was the moment I knew we could do this. We can
okay.
do this because there was no like, I don't want to say feelings because that's a word. There was no I don't know what I would say because we were just like, okay, we can do this,
Yeah, we can both be at this point in our lives
Yeah.
and gotcha.
And we
Is
did a
that
birthday party. Yeah.
is that I'm laughing because my ex at one point was dating and I think I was at my son baseball game or something, and it was kind of like, oh, this so and so. So I mean, without doing, I probably just push dudes to the left, like, hey man, you in the way. Like I'm watching this game, like, and he was trying to like talk to me. I was like, this dude. And I think I told her that, like, yo, dude, how you gonna bring a dude to a sport event that don't like sports? And I love it. Like, it, no, but
Yeah.
it was like, it's the same type of thing where you're like, okay, she's moving on. It's okay for me to move on. But I had the stealthy burglar. Like, I don't want mine to see nobody.
Oh yeah, I remember
Nobody.
climbing around the back of the couch, like, get down. Like literally, like be quiet, go in the closet. Like it was real. They looking at me like, go in the closet. Ain't she like
Like,
4?
a grown man, like, what am I doing?
You going in the closet today? Like, or we
Like,
ain't gonna be able to do this. If you can't go in the closet, we ain't gonna be able to do this.
like this. Oh my God, because I'm
Yeah,
visualizing it.
yeah,
That's
yeah. But I think
so it's
I think it's easier for men. I really do. And that's probably because I'm a woman, but I think that the thought that goes into, and I think what it is, if I'm thinking back now, is I just didn't want to look like this woman bringing all these multiple men in my daughter's
I got
life.
you. I
And
got you.
so and I think that comes from society saying like, oh, as a mother, you have this role you're supposed to portray. And so,
Mhm, mhm,
and growing
mhm.
up, being that I didn't see many men in my life, I was just like, she got a father. Her father was present. It wasn't like, and when people were like, and so even now, like when you say being a single mom, to be honest, I've never really been a single mom. I
Mhm,
felt like it, but sometimes you could feel like a single mom in a relationship because the role that we take on so much, we do so many things
mhm.
in a relationship. And I don't know, you previously been married, you can feel like a single mom, even being in the marriage that the husband's paying the bills, doing it. You just
Ooh,
still feel very single. Like,
like a
okay.
monster. So, and I agree with you. Single fathers too. And being in a relationship or in a situation, whatever you want to call it, and still having that mindset. It is this the point, or listen, I'm trying to kind of into your not into talking about your book. Are these the lessons and the things that you're living and loving and that you're talking about as far as prospering? Are these the things that you're sharing, or maybe just share a little bit about your book and what its premise is
Yeah. So I
for your
definitely
readers?
am very transparent about where I came from and how I got to where I am now. And
Hmm.
yeah, I definitely know that, excuse me, that it's a process.
Hmm.
You have to embrace the process. You
Hmm.
have to I believe in God, so I don't push that on anybody, but I did a lot of praying.
Hmm.
Um I did a lot of, self development. I got in
Hmm.
therapy. Um
I'm big
I
on
was
that.
I was already kind of going into therapy, and then I was very self-expressive. So I journaled a lot.
Hmm.
And I don't know if you've ever like journaled, then went back and read, and you're like, who is this person?
Yeah.
Because when you're
Yeah.
writing and if you're being honest, and I think if you can't be honest when you're journaling, then don't journal. Because that's
Mm.
where you're supposed to be your most authentic self. Um, and
Mm.
I caught lies that I was telling myself, because a lot of times we lie to ourselves, you know, and we don't want to look in the mirror. We don't want to see who we really are. And I always say, what you do is not who you are. That's what you did. That's not who you are, you know.
Say that one more time for the people in the back. They didn't
What
get that.
you did is not who you are, and I think we attach that because we'll be like, well, I may have been very promiscuous at that time. And it's like, that was a season. That was a
Right.
season. And be
Right.
okay with that's what you did, but that's not who you are. And you grew from that. And you
Right.
have to learn. And people are like, well, you had a failed marriage. And I don't even look at the word failure the same way as I looked at it in school. I mean, I wish they would teach this in school, but I take the acronym FAIL. It's finding the answers in life, because if you never fail, how do you find answers? So I tell people fail frequent and fail fast.
Mm. Finding them answers. I like that, Shira.
Yeah, finding answers in life. I mean, how do you know that? I mean, think about it. Your teacher, like, we're going to correct the answers on the test. You're like, that was the answer. You now found the
Right.
answer. Now, what do you do when you take the test again?
Right.
It's
Right.
not that you may pass it again. You may have to keep retaking it, you know?
Wow. So, what lessons are you most reflective of now at this point in your life? You say your daughter's 18. What
She'll be
lessons are you
18 in a
looking back
week.
on?
She'll be
Okay.
18 on the 5th.
Okay.
Definitely understanding the little girl that comes
Hmm.
out, meaning
Hmm.
the little girl that I found in myself. We all have that little girl and that little boy in us that shows up, and paying attention to when I feel that little girl's being triggered.
Hmm.
Um, and you can sense it
Hmm.
because you'll respond in a certain way that maybe you responded when you were younger. Maybe
Okay.
it's throwing a tantrum. Maybe it's shutting down. Maybe it's ignoring. We do these things when we don't get our way.
Right.
instead of learning how to use our words and process through things. So
Okay.
I'm more vocal, and then in the same breath, I'm less vocal because I was very vocal. And I think sometimes I needed to sit and process before I spoke
Gotcha.
because I was very emotional. So I would speak from an emotional space.
Ooh, that can get
Yeah,
dangerous.
it
So,
get
are with your daughter, are you and I'm coming to the co-parent, so I'm going full circle. Is your parenting style now one that you're allowing her to live her life and learn through and I like the way you describe failures or these learning opportunities, or you find yourself like, "Oh, shoot, she going down the same damn path, excuse me, dang path I just went down. Let me jump ahead of that."
Ooh. So I'm very because I'm a life coach, because I have a
Mhm,
mental health background, and I talk more to her than I was ever spoken to as a kid.
mhm,
She's read my book, she's read it. She knew I was gonna do this before. And
mhm.
I also one of the things we started doing for her, I started journaling for her when she was 6 months.
Wow.
So yeah, so she has a journal that I'll be giving her on her 18th birthday because I was not going to be able to remember what you did at 8 and what you did.
Yeah,
I'm like, girl, you
yeah,
was doing something. I don't know. But I
right.
wrote, and it wasn't like I did it every day. So I'm very, especially because now she's dating. Um,
Okay.
so we are very, and I don't want to take just the singular credit for this. We are very much involved in her life as a unit. Like
We the
me
co-parenting her
me
fa
me and her
okay,
dad, yes, we have a group text. I mean, today
okay,
we just went on a visit with college. I mean,
okay.
we hang out together, go to
Right, right,
lunch, show up at her
right.
school. I mean, we're like a lot of times people looking at us like, "So, what happened?" But,
Yeah, yeah.
it's like we're just really good friends, and I think that's important for her to see that, because she didn't remember us being married. I had to show her pictures.
Wow.
She was 3, she didn't remember. She's like, "I
So,
don't remember
for the
this."
most part, her life and what her memories are is her parents were never wow, never
Yeah.
married.
She didn't even know we were divorced until a kid at school said, "Your parents are divorced." She was like, "What is
Wow.
that?" And I remember her getting in
I
the car and telling me like, "Mommy, are you divorced?" I was like, "Oh, Lord, who told you that word?"
Now is she and when she says that, is she how's she take that? Was it an emotional time, or was it more like just clarification, or did
She
like,
just
was her
wanted to
feelings
know.
hurt?
She
Say
was
oh,
just
she's
like,
wanting to
"What is
know.
the word?" She's just like, "What is that word?"
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she just
That's
did. I mean, that's when
ooh.
you realize like this was her norm.
Right,
Like, this was her norm because she
right,
saw us together. She didn't see us living together. She never saw that.
right.
So she just saw like I go to my dad's, I go to my mom's, they're
And
both at my
this is my
games.
life.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is her life.
Wow.
And I
Man, that
said in the book too that like I never wanted to, so you spoke about being at the games. So
mhm,
I never like sat all the way over there and he sat all the way over there. We literally sat around each other. Whether
mhm,
he had
mhm.
somebody, I had somebody, we never made it awkward because I didn't want her to have to search the stands like, oh yeah, okay. No,
My
she
mom
looked
or
and
my
she's like, there
yeah,
they are.
yeah.